Yeah, this lady.
नमस्कार सर, मेरा नाम प्रीति है और मैंने पॉलिटिकल साइंस से पीएचडी किया है।
हाँ, नहीं बोली।
सर आजकल मैंने पॉलिटिकल साइंस से किया है, तो मैं थोड़ा पॉलिटिक्स पे क्वेश्चन पूछूंगी। आजकल इलेक्शन है इंडिया में और सब पार्टी डर्टी कमेंट्स करती है और हम सोचते हैं इससे ज़्यादा ख़राब नहीं बोलेगी, उससे ज़्यादा ख़राब हो जाता है। ऐसी पॉलिटिक्स में जब आपका इंटरव्यू होता है कंट्री के अंदर या कंट्री के बाहर, आपने कभी किसी के लिए बैड वर्ड या इस तरह की लैंग्वेज यूज़ नहीं की जो किसी को डिसरेस्पेक्ट करती हो? जैसे आपने अभी साउथ कोरिया की ही बात की, तो आपने जब रिलेशन की बात की तो आपने बात की कि 1950 में भी ये हुआ था और आज भी ये हो रहा है। तो आप जो इस तरह से हिस्ट्री को, प्रेजेंट को बिल्कुल मिच्योर करके बात करते हैं या अपनी कंट्री को जिस तरह से प्रेजेंट करते हैं, और आप जो इंटरनल जो कमेंट होते हैं नेताओं के सबके, तो आपने उन सब में खुद को कैसे बचा के रखा है? क्योंकि आपके कमेंट इस तरह के नहीं होते।
Let me start in a reverse order with your question and then club the two, talk about the Northeast as well. I can see the problem, and wherever community has reached a certain number, I can see the need actually for schools. And we have today there are a number of Indian schools which have got a track record of creating campuses outside. What will help there? I know many of them. I certainly, the two schools in Japan actually they started first in Singapore when I was there at that time. So I'll be happy to speak to them, but there are other chains as well, and some of them are very well known, schools. And what I will do is I will connect them up to ambassador. But I would also have a suggestion to the community. For anybody coming to establish a school, it's not easy, So to the extent that, a set of people from the community can help them, walk them through, give them a sense where to go, help them with, the actual facilities. In some cases, local governments have contributed to it. So there is that part of it also. But I totally appreciate, the need for that, because also, cost is one element, but the other is also, at least for some years, all of us would like our children to have some exposure to Indian schooling, because that is very important, even if they are continuing to live in Korea, it's part of their actually attachment to their motherland. So I take that on board. On the the question you asked about the Northeast, look, my own sense is the potential of the Northeast is now beginning to unfold, because what was happening was we used to talk about look east policy, act east policy, but we were not even looking east and acting east within our own country, And if you look at how difficult it was to travel, if you see the sort of the level of business, the attention given, the resources given, it was actually very disturbing. And that actually has been one of the changes of the last 10 years. And which is why actually what our colleague mentioned about Manipur is so disturbing, which is, having taken, put in this much effort, having seen how much really the states of Northeast India have changed in the last decade, I think there is obviously everybody today, is distressed is a very mild word at what is happening in Manipur. So I do feel that, in many respects, Northeast itself can act as a bridge. But it has both a cultural side to it, but it also has a physical contiguity side to it. So today, our relations with Bangladesh, for example, have changed tremendously. Okay, so you see, railways, road, trains, waterways, goods are going to Bangladesh ports, electricity is being supplied. So it has given that whole area sort of, I would say, a kind of a boost. Now, we are also trying to see if in a similar way we can benefit from Bhutan, that by connecting Bhutan more closely. And, I was talking again about, I was briefing our Korean colleagues about some semiconductor decisions we made. So last week, Cabinet had approved three projects. One was a fab, which will come up in Dholera, but in Gujarat. But one is a fab which is coming up in Assam. Now, to me, to see a major production, that too high technology production project coming up in the Northeast is a big statement. It actually says that this is something which we take very much to heart. So the problem which our colleague raised, in terms of how do you safeguard our borders. See, one of our issues has also been that we have had open borders with Myanmar. That in fact we have a system. We had a very unique system where you can travel 16 kilometers either way. It used to be much more before, without actually travel documents. So we have, unfortunately, after all these tragic events, we have decided now that to suspend that provision and actually to in a way, I would say, harden the border situation. It is unfortunate, in terms of how did this happen, how could government let it happen? Again, look, there is nobody, there cannot be anybody who would not regret what is happening there. I mean, what's happened there is truly tragic, and it is tragic because of the close intermingling of communities, which has then, led to created this degree of violence, which becomes very difficult, really, to head off. So I think the entire wishes of the country are very much with Manipur. I mean, people would like to see normalcy return. They would like to see law and order get back. They will, this is not this is not the India that, and certainly not the Northeast, which anybody is hoping for. On the carbon neutral, because I saved that last question, that question for the last, the political science question. The carbon neutral, this carbon tax, we think it's very unfair. That this is a way actually of putting a barrier on trade by using a certain criteria. We've already made it clear that we would find ways of responding to it. But, one part of it is how to protect our trade. But there is the other part, which is that we also have to decarbonize in our own interest. So there are, a lot of efforts underway here. I think very much, one part of it is, of course, you can see that renewables have grown tremendously in India. But again, in India we have a range of issues. There are cities where pollution levels are very high.